All right, so the second quarter has started. You didn't do too well in the first quarter. You look back over your business and you've seen that it just didn't go so well. You know what I mean? You did make a profit. You barely made ends meet. You just kind of broke even, and you're wondering, what do you need to do from here? Well, there's several things, okay? And being a skilled trade slash local service business owner, I get it. I fully understand where you are because I've been there, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you. First off, there's three things you need to know. Number one, you need to know your business, or you need to know your numbers, okay? Because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And what do I mean by know your numbers? You need to know how many leads you're generating, where those leads are coming from, right? Uh, how many sales that you're converting from those leads, like what's the percentage? You need to know what your average ticket value is. You need to know that because you need to know that your cost per acquisition is well below your average ticket value. What does that mean? Say you're doing Google LSA ads and you're paying $20 per lead, and your average job is $250. What does it cost you to acquire that customer? Because out of those leads, how many of those leads are actually converting into customers? Like, these are kind of things that real business owners know. And I don't, and I'm not saying you're not a real business owner. I'm saying that are on a level of actually running their business. We're talking about people who can truly call themselves a CEO. The second thing you need to know is you need to know your customer. Like, if you're not getting the kind of jobs that you need to get in order to make the profits you want to make, then do you really know your customer? Like, who is your customer? Are you getting enough of those people in the pipeline, to get the kind of to get the kind of jobs that you want and make the kind of profits that you need? Well, if you're coming up short, then obviously you're not getting that, right? So you need to know your customer, who, and more specifically, your ideal customer. Who is that customer that you really like working for, who pays your premium rate, okay, without haggling or trying to, break you down on price? That person that prioritizes value over price, that you're comfortable working in that environment. You don't have any issues. There's no drama. You can go in, do what you need to do, and move on to the next one without any hassles. Like, how many of those people do you have in your CRM or in your pipeline? The third thing you need to know is you need to know your value, okay? Because if you're always trying to beat the competitor's price, then you obviously don't know your value, or you don't value yourself very high, right? You don't have a very high value of yourself, right? And when you're competing in that realm, you are basically a commodity. And we all know commodities are cheap. So you need to know your value, and then you need to be able to communicate that value to your ideal customer in order to get the type of jobs that you want, so you can make the profits that you need to make. So you don't have to worry about breaking even. You don't have to worry about, am I going to be able to make ends meet? Am I going to be able to make payroll this month, or this week? Or am I going to be able to cover my expenses and my overhead this month? You got to sit down and plan all this stuff out. First of all, you got to sit down and identify where you are. Like, you got to sit down. You got to do the work. You got to sit down, go through your business, go through your finances, go through your CRM, go through your web analytics, look at all of this data for the last 12 months, so you can get a good picture of where exactly your business is. So you'll know what you need to do in the next 12 months to get to where you really think you should be, or where you want to be. Look at all that data. Now decide on where you want to be, right? Like, I like to talk about doubling the revenue and profits over a 12-month period, right? It's doable, but you got to know these things. So you look at where you are, and then you look at what it would what that looks like. Let's say we're at 10K a month, and you want to be at 20K a month in revenue. So you want to double your revenue, right? So you're looking at all this data to see where you're at. And the reason why I say you need to look at uh, your leads, how many leads you got coming in, and your conversion rates, because that is going to be the linchpin for how you're going to increase this revenue. You got to sit down, go through your business, do an audit, and figure out what these numbers are, so you'll know, because what gets measured gets improved. If you can't put a number to it, or you can't measure it, how in the world are you going to improve it, right? A lot of times though, we don't want to do this stuff. We don't want, it's a lot of mental work. We tend to, especially those of in the skill trade, and I'm just gonna speak for myself. I'm not gonna speak for nobody else. But prior to a few years ago, I would put more into the physical of getting out there and doing the electrical work on a daily basis than I did of the mental work of actually running the business. And I ended up busted and disgusted. Okay. My business sucked balls. All right. All the way up to 2018, until I had to just, look in the mirror and and have a real hard conversation with myself. I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to actually give this business thing the right attention and effort that it needed, or was I going to go back and get a job? And let me tell you, at that point and at this point in my life, psychologically unemployable, right? Meaning once I've truly tasted entrepreneurship, going back to work for somebody else was just not an option, right? So I had to make the business work. And you probably kind of feel the same way. Um, so here's the thing: once you have established where you are, and you have determined where you want to go, then you will see what I call the gap. And that is the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be, right? That difference is called the gap. And in order to close that gap, you're going to have to build a bridge. But before you can build that bridge, you're going to have to become the person who can build that bridge. And the person you are right now, you're not capable of building that bridge, just to be honest. Because if you were, it would already be done. And you're the only one that can do it. But you got to become the person who can do it, right? See, before we can have what we want, we got to be able to do the things to get what we want. And before we can do the things to get what we want, we have to become the people or the person who can do the things to get what we want. You can't be your old self and your new self at the same time. Remember, I said that in a previous video, right? It's psychologically impossible. Butterfly can't be a caterpillar and a butterfly at the same time because it's physically impossible, right? What steps do you need to take to become the person you need to be in order to do the things that need to be done so you can get the results that you know you deserve and you desire? How are you going to turn your business around from just barely making it, scraping by, maybe just breaking even, to actually thriving and generating a profit, right? So you can actually grow your business. Especially if you solo dolo. You out here solo dolo. You working 60 to 80 hours a week, burning yourself out, working yourself in the ground with little nothing to show for it at the end of the day. Ask me how I know. I've been there, until I got to a point where I was able to turn the corner. And now that I've turned that corner, now I'm looking back going, I can see other people in the same boat that I was in, trying to figure out how to turn that corner. And here I am reaching my hand out saying, hey, I may be able to help you turn that corner. So if you really want to know what it takes, or really want to take a look at, what it's going to take for you to get to that next level, to get past this plateau that you're in right now, you want to break through this barrier that's got you stuck, then you want to go ahead and grab this cheat sheet I got. It's called a Profit Accelerator cheat sheet. It's going to take you through the process of doing that business audit, right? It's going to take you through the process of looking at the leads, the number of leads that you generated, what your sales conversions look like, what your average ticket value looks like, and what you can do to improve those things, and help you formulate a plan, right, to become that person that you need to be to get you to the next level, right? At least just get you, just to point you in the right direction, right? So, just click the link below this video. Go ahead and download the cheat sheet, and make it do what it do. It's all up to you. But I just thought I'd put it out there and offer it to you. But whatever you do, right, you must know 3 things to move forward. Know your numbers, know your customer, and know your value. With that being said, that's all I got for you today. We'll talk. Deuces.